What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more Enigmatica 6, and today we're going to be setting up some pretty crazy infinite ore generation. So the setup we're going to be using today is going to be the industrial foregoing laser drill, and we're actually going to need 32 laser drills and 1 ore laser base for the setup I have planned. It's not going to be the most efficient one you can have, we'll get to that later, but it should be a good starting place where we'll get 1 ore about every 2 seconds, which really isn't that bad considering the amount of time I spend in the world right now just running around doing random things. If we take a look at the recipe for these though, we can see that we need a simple machine frame for the laser drill, which we need 32 of, and an advanced machine frame for the ore laser base, which means we need the dissolution chamber and plastic. So that means we got to do some industrial foregoing progression before we can get to the fun stuff today and start setting this up and get all the ores we could possibly need. Now, a lot has happened in the base since last episode. I've been doing a ton of work off camera. I'm really excited to show you guys that, but I do want to jump right into this stuff so we can start the progression, and then we can come back and talk about the rest of that stuff later. So the first thing we need to do is put down the fluid extractor and get us some latex. Now, this room right here is the room where our ore generation is going to be going. I've cleared out an area right here, which might look a little bit funny if you don't know how the laser drills work, but it should make sense in a little bit when we start setting them up. They'll be going down here. But I'm curious what you guys think of this room. I wanted to make it sort of thematically correct while still looking like the rest of the base. So keeping the dark wood theme along with the green terracotta, but still making it appropriate for the room. So there's a lot of leaves, there's some vines, and I went around and tried to put in random ores as best I could. So let me know what you guys think of this, if you have any improvements or suggestions, but I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know where we're going to put these industrial foregoing machines once we're not using this room for the progression. I don't think we're really going to need them that much, but I'm going to throw them down in here just for now because we got to put them somewhere to do some work with. So right here, we have the fluid extractor. This thing does not need power. I'm going to give it power just because it'll make it go faster, but this is going to extract latex from a log or a stripped log, and we need that to make plastic through a relatively lengthy process, albeit. But the best way to do that is with acacia, because acacia gives the most latex per operation compared to any other log in the game. So I got lucky, I stumbled across some acacia, and here we are, ready to get some latex. So as you can see, it's grabbing, I think it grabs 8 millibuckets per operation, but we can grab out our quantum entangloporter, and we should be able to give this a little bit of power. My channels are kind of messed up on this, but it should be going a little bit faster now. Yep, you can see it cuts the time in, it's about 1/3 to have it, so we should be able to get a fair bit of latex. And then the next thing is going to be getting a bucket of that so that we can make the latex processing unit, which will allow us to process the latex into plastic, which it's going to take a couple more steps. It's not that simple, but we're going to make it into rubber, then craft that rubber into dry rubber, and then we're going to cook that down into plastic, and that will allow us to progress to the next step. So I think I'm going to let this just keep firing off, gather all the latex that we need, then I'll hop back once we have the plastic crafted, and we're good to move on to the next step. So I guess that took a little bit longer than expected, and I don't want to wait that long because we need a ton of plastic for today, at least over a stack for the entire setup, not just with progression into industrial foregoing. So I made a couple extra fluid extractors and set those up with power, so we're getting latex at least a little bit faster. Either way though, we have some other stuff we need to take care of before we move on, because if we take a look, the laser drill itself is not that hard to make. Yes, it requires the dissolution chamber, but it just needs some latex in there with some plastic, the machine frame, some nether brick, that's all totally fine. The problem is we need 1 ore laser base that all of these laser drills are going to be powering. And if we take a look at what this requires, it also doesn't look that bad. I've got everything I need except for the advanced machine frame. And the recipe for this, yes, it requires some netherite. I have that. The problem is this pink slime right here. Now you can only get this in industrial foregoing, and the way you get it is using a mob slaughter factory, and I believe this is going to give us liquid meat and pink slime, but I think hostile mobs only give liquid meat, and I think the passive mobs give both some liquid meat and some pink slime. Now, I could be incorrect on that, but I believe that's the case. So we need to make one of these, and then we need to go out with a quantum entangloporter, or maybe not a quantum entangloporter, but some form of portable energy. I think I might have one of the cubes in here charged up, so this advanced energy cube should be fine. And we need to now make the mob slaughter factory and head on out. And if we take a look at the quest book, you can see that we've got a lot of quest rewards. I'm actually going to wait and we can get all of these at once. It should be pretty funny to see what we get as we progress through. But we need to head out while this gathers up some more of the rubber so that we can make it into plastic. And we need to get some of this pink slime and bring it on back here so we can do that. We only need 500 millibuckets, but I still need to get some of it. So I'm going to go track down some passive mobs out there since there really don't seem to be many around the base. And once I find those, we'll hop back and we'll slaughter them with the factory, see how much slime we get. And if it's enough, then we can come back and hopefully start progressing to the fun part of this instead of the tedious, monotonous work we have to do right now. Okay guys, so that took an unimaginable amount of time to do, and when I came back there still was not nearly enough plastic that had been processed or enough latex that had been processed into rubber. Even with all three of these running, the acacia is probably about 2/3 of the way to being stripped, and then it'll get half as much latex per operation, so it's going to take forever to get all that plastic, but I finally got the one thing we need, a bucket of pink slime. Now, I had to travel so far to get this. It was a huge pain. If we take a look at my map, I had to go all the way over here where I died while I was getting it. Something over there one-shot me at night. It was like a upgraded zombie brew. I don't know what it was, but it one-shot me. It was horrible. And so I had to run back again and then back, and I didn't have a tank, and there was some meat in there. It was a whole mess. So I'm not going to get into too many details about it. But I have the dissolution chamber here, and we should start making some of these because really the thing that we need to get is the advanced machine frame. And the advanced machine frame comes from a simple machine frame, which we're also using for this. So in the grand scheme of things, we need 33 simple machine frames, one of which needs to be upgraded to an advanced. And the first one I'm going to make is the advanced because I want to put the laser base down, get that situated, and then tack the laser drills onto this after we do that. So we can make as many simple machine frames as we have right now, and then make sure that we just have enough plastic and stuff to finish upgrading this. So we'll probably make about 10 of these, which means we need some plastic, some nether bricks, some of these machine frames, some iron, and a gold gear. And then it also needs some latex, so we should probably start putting some of that in here. So suffice to say, that was a total mess getting all the stuff situated to do the crafting inside the dissolution chamber. So I decided to cut it all out. I was going to record some of it, but my goodness, that was a mess. There's so much that needs to be done for this. So what we're going to do right now is quickly craft up the ore laser base, put it down, run through what I want to do with that, and then hopefully by the time I'm done with that, I'll be able to hop off camera again. We'll have enough plastic to craft up all the laser drills that we need, and then I can set those up. So the first thing we need to do is make a simple machine frame, and that means putting plastic up here, putting our iron, which I don't even have. This one takes iron? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I thought I was ready for it, but apparently I am not. I also need to grab out some iron. There's so much that you need for using this thing when you have to use all crafting slots. But then we have our gold gears, and then finally we need the pity machine frame right here, and it should start crafting. We have the latex in there. We have way more than we need, and I'm only going to be doing one of these. So then we're going to, ideally, I think breaking this should get rid of its internal storage. If not, we can deal with it using the fluid tank here to get it out. But there we go. We got another quest complete. So I'm going to break this, and we're going to hope that it gets rid of the internal fluid. So let's see. Yep, it does. Okay, so that's good. So now we want to bucket in our pink slime, and we need to put in all the stuff that we just had essentially again, except we're going to be upgrading it a little bit. So we've got the diamond gear here. We need, again, 2 plastic at the top. We need the simple machine frame, the gold right here, and netherite right here. And it's starting to craft. Thankfully, we only have to make one of these, and then we can continue increasing the speed of this single ore laser base by tacking on a ton of laser drills. Now, eventually, you're going to max out the number of laser drills, and we'll go over how it all works in a little bit. So you will need to make more of these if you want to increase the production further. But there we go, advanced machine frame. We got a lot of quests complete in here. This will be really satisfying when we get to collect everything. I should make some add-ons now too, because we can make the speed add-ons. If we take a look, they're a little bit of a pain to make, but if we're able to make the efficiency, which really isn't that expensive, I don't have any blaze rods, but this shouldn't be too bad. If we were to make this, it would increase the latex production, which would be useful, but we should be able to come in here now and make our ore laser base. And then we're going to come over, and the ore laser base is going to go where this torch is right here. So I'll put a torch down on top of that now. So this is going to go in the center, and all the laser drills are going to go in these areas right around it. And because of the area that they're able to affect, I think it's a 3x3x3 in front of it, they'll all be able to touch the ore laser base. And every time those fire off, you get one progression in the ore laser base, and you get to pick the depth that you're collecting at. We can put lenses in here so that we can make it, more likely to get one type of ore. You can do diamond, copper, iron, whatever you need. And so there's a lot of stuff that we can do with this, but you're not going to directly speed up the ore laser base. You're going to speed up the laser drills. So just a couple things to keep in mind. We need to power these though. And so my plan is to keep this looking nice. We're going to bring power all the way through the bottom, and I'm going to put a quantum entangloporter directly below this ore laser base. Now, I think I'm going to output the items out the top for now, but eventually I want to have it going right into our ore processing automatically from this. And we'll have to do a little bit of sorting first, just because you are going to get things from here that you're not going to process identical to all the other stuff you're going to get. So that'll be important to take care of, but we're just going to line all these mechanism cables down here. They're elite cables, so they should be upgraded enough that they're able to bring all the power this needs. Even when we have all the speed and efficiency upgrades in the laser drills, this should be enough. So now that we have that, I think we need to... No, these aren't high enough to get up there, so I guess we're going to have to break one of these. What a pain, because it's not actually the stairs version of it, so we're going to have to hop back up here. I'll get that later in a second, actually. But I gotta clear out my inventory a bit because it's becoming such a mess in here. I have so much junk in my inventory after those trips. But I want to get a quantum entangloporter, and we can do auto crafting for this. It's probably going to take a little bit, but now might be a good time to discuss what I've been working on in the base. Because if we take a look, I've got a lot of stuff set up here. This room is finally finished off, and that's what's led to me doing this stuff for today's episode, because I wasn't initially planning on this. I actually wanted to do a mob farm so that we could get some experience here. I wanted to use the industrial foregoing enchanter to enchant all my stuff, and you can do that using the essence that you collect in there. So I would have done that, but I've been burning through resources, and I know it may not look like it from looking in here, but I have used up so many. I've been getting the refined storage automation set up. So we've got, the smelting automation over here for refined storage stuff and some miscellaneous things. We've got the mechanism infuser processing set up for all the different kinds of alloys that we need. I've got some crushing stuff set up for making upgrades and generic things like making gravel, to make sand, to make glass. And we even have stuff for refined obsidian so that we can make things like the quantum entangloporter. And then I have this crafter over here, which is a gold crafter, so it can store a fair bit more. It's a lot faster than the regular ones. And this is just for all the generic crafting. So we got all the way up to the 64K storage drive. We've got all the different control circuits, upgrades, all this stuff. And I'm just tacking more and more things on. The main reason I started doing this is because I did not want to make all these PRCs by hand. There's 75 on this wall. We had 12 last episode, so I needed to make 63 more. And to craft those, I fully automated it. And along with that, if we take a look in each one of these, and they're totally full right now because we're not using up the power, these all have 8 energy upgrades. So that's like 500 to 600 energy upgrades in every single one of these total. And that took forever to make too. So this whole thing burned through like 2,500 iron, a bunch of osmium, a bunch of gold, all that stuff to make. And so if we're going to continue expanding on stuff like this and making large setups and doing further automation over here, well, then we need to have a better source of ore coming into the base. So that is where this whole setup comes in. And I think the quantum entangloporter should be good now. So we've got that auto crafted. So we should be good to throw this down over here and simply have it giving power to all these cables. So we'll set this, should be outputting on all the sides, doesn't really matter, auto ejecting on. These are all now powered, so once we have the laser drills, all we gotta do is slap them down, orient them properly, and they will start getting this thing to generate us tons of ore. Even without upgrades, it should be relatively fast, so I'm excited to see that, but I need to hop off camera now because I need to, I guess, do all the dissolution chamber crafting, and I also need to finish processing the plastic because admittedly, we're not even remotely close to the amount of plastic that we need, so I might need to make some upgrades for this. If we take a look and I, finish crafting this, because it takes 9 of these to make 1 dry rubber. So we have 10 dry rubber, and that means that that's going to be 10 pieces of plastic, and if we take a look at these, each one of these takes 2 plastic, each one of these takes 2 plastic, so each one of these takes 4, which means I'm going to be making half a stack of these, which means I'm going to be making, I need 2 stacks of plastic. And our acacia is pretty much done in here. So it's almost scrapped. So I think what we need to do now is collect all this quest stuff and see if we get lucky with anything. And if we don't, well, I don't even know if we get random rewards. We get some acacia, which is nice. So we get some random rewards. Please let one of these be some speed upgrades. That's really what we're hoping for here. Okay, let's take a look. We got an efficiency upgrade. I think that's worse than a speed upgrade, but we did get one of those. What else did we get? We got some machine frames, which is nice because I need more of those. We got a simple machine frame. Okay, so we did get some useful stuff. I can slap in, oh, we got more stuff over here too. I didn't even notice. We got an entire fluid tank full of essence. And we got mechanical dirt, which gives us another quest that we can complete. Okay, so we got the add-ons done. We got the mechanical dirt done. Wow, so these are just giving us the things that we need for further quest completion. Common black hole tank. We got another efficiency upgrade. And we got stuff to complete another quest, it looks like, from over here. So we get a little bit of XP. Well, it was actually worth it to do that, albeit a little bit boring. But if we come down here now, we should be able to slap in an efficiency upgrade. And here again, we can see that it does, in fact, kick these a little bit faster. It's not anything crazy, but we should be getting it a little bit quicker now, which is good. Hopefully it'll be fast enough that this thing is consistently running. It looks like it pretty much is. So still got an AFK, but I'm going to do pretty much all the crafting that I can, get this stuff done. Then we'll hop back, we'll finish this off, and we'll get our automated ore generation going for the day. Oh my God, guys, this was horrible. It has been like an hour and a half since the last clip that you guys just saw. And this is where we are now, I guess. There are 5 on this side for the fluid extractors, 3 on this side, so 8 total running with some upgrades in some of these. I think this one down here, yeah, we got some speed and efficiency. This has had speed and efficiency. And it still took that long to get all the plastic needed for using the dissolution chamber and then the regular crafting that comes after the simple machine frame just to make the laser drill. So I think we're finally good to go after getting 2 stacks of plastic. That was horrible. I just have to say it. Never again. Never again. There we go. 32 laser drills. That took like 400 diamonds, by the way. I had to go out and get more. So just awful. This was a horrible idea. I'm sure it'll pay off in the long run, but my goodness, I'm really kicking myself for this one. So now we need to come down here and begin setting these up. And really the first question is just how to orient them properly. So if we place them, let's take a look at the working area. So we need to place them backwards. So easy enough to do. We should probably just grab this, break some of this stuff on the sides. And if we place them now like this, yep. So we can see if we look at the working area that it is this area in front of it. And so this is caught inside that. And you can see it's gaining progress. Every time this fires, it has the target that it's giving progress to, and this is gaining progress, but it's really slow, right? This needs to have 100 iterations of this completing its, what is this, 3-second progress on this. So it's going to take forever. But if we put down a bunch of these, well, it speeds it up a little bit then. So if I can properly place these down right here, let's see. Now, how does it orient it? I guess I can't place them down right there. So we'll have to come around. This is going to be a huge pain to do. Let's see if we place them down like this. Yeah, see, these do not want to orient properly. It's so annoying orienting these. So here, you know what? I am just going to totally demolish the backs of these, and I will replace this stuff down, and we'll be able to put these down properly then. Why do they orient so weird? Okay, there we go. So those are placed down properly. We don't need to show the working area on this anymore. And you can see we've already generated an iron chunk. Now, it's totally up to you. It might bother some of you depending on like this side right here. Obviously, you could have them all facing this way, and then this one's going to be facing in. But either way, we're just going to slap these down like so. And then we pretty much have to do the same thing here. Maybe we only have to come back this block. Is this one properly? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. So we only need to come back here. There we go. We'll verify this one is also working right. Yep. So we can do that. And then I'll replace all of these later once this is all placed down properly. You know what? This one will bother me though. It needs to be symmetrical. So we're going to do it like this and like that and like that. Okay, so that's done. And then over here, place these down and the final area right here. All those, and now we can see this is actually going pretty fast. Now these can all have speed upgrades put in them too, which is awesome. So we can get speed 2 and efficiency 2 put in those, which is great. Now I do need to kind of cover this back up so it looks a little bit nicer. Thankfully, we got all the framed stairs back, so just a simple matter of placing these back down, and finally got over here and right here. So all we have to really do now is we can slap a chest down on top of this and it can get all of these. So I think in here I have a spruce chest. I can upgrade this if I want, but if we put this down here, we can just go to the outputs, have them push out the top, and there we go. Now we can adjust the depth on this too. So if we go to any of the ore that we want, let's say an example is we want diamond ore. So if we take a look at diamond ore, you can see there is, here it is, the information. The spawn locations, it'll have the minimum Y, the maximum Y, and we can also take a look at the, where is it? If we go to the lenses, if we take a look at the uses for this lens right here, we can see the minimum Y, the maximum Y for getting different things with this. So here's the diamond chunk, minimum Y of 5, maximum Y of 16, and this will have a weight of 4. Here's the biomes it can work in. Here's the ones it can't. So you can do that with any ore you want. It's pretty cool. And so we can adjust this. Let's say I actually want a chance at getting diamonds. Well, then we can just bring, I wonder if there's any way do you have to actually click this down? Oh my God, you actually have to click this down every single time. Wow. That's horrible. But if we grab out of here, let's say the speed and efficiency upgrades, because I'm just going to let this thing run on its own for now on. Well, we can toss some of them in here. So we'll put an efficiency 1 in there, speed, and then efficiency in here and speed, and it goes a lot faster. So definitely nothing to scoff at. I don't know the exact speed that's going at now, but I know for a fact if we fully upgrade these, it'll be generating ore every like half a second. So that's pretty awesome. You can see we already got diamond, some lead. So this is great, especially if you're AFKing in your world a lot. I suspect this is starting to fire off over there because we're burning through power. You can see each one of these is going to use 1,000 FE. So if it's going through them every, 3 seconds and you have 32 of these, especially with the upgraded ones where it's doing it every 1.5 seconds, well, then yeah, you're going to be burning through a lot of power. But power is not a concern for me right now. Generating infinite ore is. So eventually I will make some lenses. These are super easy to make. If we take a look at the dissolution chamber, you need some latex. And then really it's just making, you know what, we could probably do these right now. We could at least make, 1 or 2 if we were to slap this back down up here, get some latex in there. We should have glass panes over here. And yeah, so we have some glass panes over here and I should have some blue dye and we'll just do that. And I should have some white dye too, I think. If not, I have bone meal. Oh, I exited out of that. Why did I do that? Okay, well, we got rid of the blue dye. There we go. So we'll take some light blue dye. We can do 6. Because I believe you can put in multiple of these and their effects stack. So not that I'm going to do that right now, but if we were to, I think the recipe was this and this, and then we can just lock it in case we want to use this for a future recipe or like shift click this in there like that. Well, then we have our light blue lens and then we just come in here, we throw this in and we should be more likely to get diamond now. And if we do it again, we just shift click these back in here We'll put another one in. Still no diamond after that next operation, but we'll have to see how likely we can get it if we just keep throwing these in here. Now, obviously, this needs 250 latex per operation to go, but I believe if you put all of these in there, because there are slots for 6 different ones that can go in here, it will skew your chances. So we just got another diamond chunk in there, and of course, if you want multiple different kinds, well, you can weight most of those heavily. So you could have 3 light blue ones. Then you could have, let's say, an orange one, which might give you, let's see, a higher chance of, that's for the fluid, for getting copper. So if you want copper, you could do that. Let's see, do we have the latex in there? We do. We have enough to get the 5th one. And then we'll finish off with getting the 6th one. And we'll see where that leaves us with getting our diamond. Because right now, diamond is the one that I'm pretty short on, especially after today's episode. But if you guys have not seen Lash's series, he had an episode that I will link in the description. It's not his most recent one because he just released one as I'm recording this, but he said that he is going to try to compete with the power generation, and he is going to, try to have an equally, if not larger, useless, I guess, sort of power generation setup as sort of a fun competition to see who can go totally overboard on silly stuff like that. So I think that's fun. My next challenge, because I'd love to issue some challenges to the people that are playing this pack alongside me, my next challenge for him, because I know he'll see this, is to come up with an infinite ore generation setup, and whether that's using this same one and trying to make it as efficient as possible with your design, or using some other mod in here that can do infinite ore generation. My task for you, or challenge, is to see if you can come up with one that generates ore faster than mine. And we'll see in a couple episodes who has the faster infinite ore generation. I think that's a fun challenge. It should be pretty enjoyable for you guys to watch. And if you guys have any other fun challenges that you want throughout the series to see me challenge Lash to, feel free to let me know. Because I think that's a fun way, even though we're not playing on like a server together or something, to keep it exciting between a couple of the content creators. So here we go. We have this now skewed as best we can diamond. We just got another diamond chunk. I'm super thrilled with this. I AFK a lot, so I'll get a ton of this. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Really, really long time to record this episode because of waiting for this stupid latex, so I didn't do as much on camera as I would have hoped for, but hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, feel free to give it a like and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my other videos as I release them every Monday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that's going to be it, and I will talk to you guys later.